Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. What is the big idea here? I don't know if we can really go with this, but today is National Stretching Day. I don't know if we can go with that one.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, that's caused a problem. Today is National Noodle Ring Day. When I was a kid, they used to just call that SpaghettiOs. I guess we'd have to give some sort of royalty to Chef Boyardee or put the sauce on there. Although my grandson doesn't like sauce on his noodles. He just likes to eat the plain noodles. And it's really fun to watch him because he tries to see if he can get the whole bowl right in and on one fork. It's fun. So he uses his fork. He's 3.5 years old, a great kid. Uses the fork, spins it like we're supposed to, has way too much for a bite, puts it in his mouth, and then takes the offhand and tries to push the rest of it in. It is fun to watch. Today is National App Day. So, question of the day, how many apps do you have? Now, I'm not, the most technologically advanced person. Thankfully, Josh is. So I think if you go to settings, settings general, about, and you can see how many apps you have. So how many apps do you have on your phone? And I'm going to tell you, I've got 150 apps on my phone. And no, I didn't go through and just count them all by hand. I'm going to put that in the chat. You put yours in the chat. How many apps do you have on your phone? And while you're at it, let us know where you're listening to us from. If you're listening on radio, well, don't forget, you can always listen to us, record the program live in the morning. Each morning, we are recording live at 3:56 for Josh. He's 3:56. I'm 150. I guess I'm an amateur, Josh, because I never hesitate to put an app on. If I see something that I want, I just put it on there. The problem is I don't think I ever take any of them off. Now, if you have an app, and again, I am not the technological wizard, but if I have an app on my phone, do I end up having the same app on my iPad, or do I have to load them separately? Yeah, there you go. So I don't know that answer. Because there's a lot of other things along technological lines that I don't know the answer to either. But I wonder if I have the app on my phone, if I have to. Depends on your Apple settings. Okay. Interesting. It should be a lot easier if I had all the apps on all the devices, wouldn't it? So now I guess I have a project for Josh after the show. How do I get them on all my devices? See, Josh doesn't want to answer these things because he knows what. Love you, Josh. You're the best. Let's see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 41 points. The S&P 500 is up 54. NASDAQ. Wow. The NASDAQ is up 331 points.
Yippee!
Yeah, that's a good
Yippee!
one. 330 might have something to do with, I think Nvidia is up a lot. There's a few of them that are up quite significantly. Oil up $1.36 a barrel. A lot of unrest in the Middle East, but seems like some of the unrest in the Middle East might be good stuff now. Syria, they got rid of Assad out there. That's good news. Israel not listening to the Biden administration, and they're getting rid of some of the military apparatus of Syria. That's good news out there. But should we look and see what oil prices are? $4.35 in the state of confusion. Unreal. We're always too high out here in California. Rest of the country on average is 301. 301. So it looks like there's only maybe 20 states that have prices over $3 a gallon. And of course, California, we're number 2 on that. Hawaii does lead us in the prices, but I'm sure once our governor can get some more taxes going. Why is it he keeps taxing us more and more? Oh, yeah, because they want to give away things to illegals and others who we get to pay the bill for it. And he wants to be president of the United States. Oh, that would be a serious, serious problem. Yeah, we wouldn't want to see that happening at all. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Hey, you know something? I saw this today, a public service announcement. I saw this one today, and I kind of like it just because it's fun. I'm not sure if I can get all of it in here, but 10 hidden Amazon Prime benefits. Maybe you're not thinking of all of these things. So 10 hidden Amazon Prime benefits. Let's see if we can find some of them here. Let's see. The first one, unlimited photo storage. Ironic enough, Josh and I were just talking about that before the broadcast. I've got 35,000 pictures on my phone. Is it as easy to recall them from Amazon Prime as it is from your iPhone? I don't know. Free release date delivery. Prime members can get a free release date delivery on video games, movies, books, music. Just pre-order eligible items. Select the release day delivery. Most items are delivered by 7 p.m. on the day of the release. Okay. Early access to lightning deals. 4 to 12 hours in advance. Okay. Shop Amazon deals. Lego flower marketing. Okay, that's an ad. I'm sorry about that one. Let's see. Why do I get so many ads in here? Okay, well, I don't want to go through. Oh, that's a good one. So they've got, I don't know, this one, I like this one. Do you have that picture frame? A Skylight digital photo frame. I might have to get that one because it allows my kids to email pictures to us of the grandkids. Okay. There's too many of these ads in here. I don't want to see all these. Stanley Cup is on there. Not the hockey one, Josh. I know you're a Lightning fan. Let's see what else we've got. Free delivery options. Try before you buy. Prescriptions. For those of you that are old like me, generic medications, no insurance, poor coverage. Prime members have access to RX Pass. Subscribers will get all eligible medications for the flat monthly fee of $5. Wow. Whole Foods discount. Now, can anybody get a big enough discount at Whole Foods to make the pricing worthwhile? It's kind of like going to Bristol Farms. Whole paycheck, I call it. What else do we have? Something. There's a lot of them on here. If you want the whole report, give me a call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Why moving to more affordable area makes sense. And we're going to continue our conversation in the Who Do You Know segment. Buying your first home. Here's how we make it easy. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. So the question is, what did rates do yesterday? Conventional 30-year fixed up 6.618. Jumbo 30-year fixed up 6.883. FHA 30-year fixed up 6.304. If anyone's got to be down, the best one to be down is the VA loan 30-year fixed 6.089. And the USDA 30-year fixed. Rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.388. If you're looking at buying a house in a rural area and you're not looking at that USDA loan, it could be just that somebody doesn't know that it's available. If you want our market commentary each and every weekday morning as early as the data allows, rsrlinks.com/market minute, rsrlinks.com/market minute. You can also find that on our social channels. We put that up there as well, rsrlinks.com/market minute. So what is happening in the markets today? S&P 500 is up 54.22. 10-year Treasury is up 2 basis points in the yield. The 30-year mortgage bond is up 3 basis points, pretty flat, basically telling us that there's not a lot of there, whatever that saying is. Not much going on. We got the CPI report this morning, and that was the big data of the day. And let's take a look at what it said. November Consumer Price Index report showed that overall inflation rose. Drum roll, please. No, we're not going to do drum roll. 0.3%. That was 1/10 above estimates of 0.2% year over year. Inflation increased from 2.6 to 2.7, but taking out to the third decimal, it was 2.749, which means it was very close to being rounded to 2.8. Food prices were one of the main reasons the headline came in a bit warmer than expected. Core rate, which strips out food and energy, increased by 0.3%, which was in line with expectations. Year over year, core CPI remained unchanged at 3.3% as expected. Used cars hurt the core reading as they rose 2% in the month alone. Shelter was reported at 0.3%, which was a more modest reading than we've been seeing, but it would have been much lower if it wasn't for hotels or Airbnb, lodging away from home. Rent and owner's equivalent rent were both up only 0.2%, but lodging away from home rose 3.2% in the month. So even though it's a small percentage of the overall number, when it's that big of an increase for 1 month, that's big. Very optimistic to see rent and owner's equivalent rent come in at lower figures. And if this trend continues, we'll make it much easier to make progress on inflation. Lodging away from home can be often a wild card, sometimes helps us, but in today's report, it accounted for 20% of the inflation we saw. The bond market appearing pretty tame on that. Now, what I want you to understand on this part of the report is core inflation shelters 45.8%, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense. You're looking at 45.8%, yet only 8% of the population is moving. So why do we care about some of these numbers that are not affecting you and me and the majority of us, 92% of us? What we care about is food and cars and insurance, things we have to have all the time. So those numbers are only about 1.2%. If we take that 2.9 from shelter off, 2.19 from shelter off of the 3.3, okay, that's only about 1.2%. So inflation is fairly tame. We don't have to worry too much about the inflation. So when you hear about the news talking about, oh, inflation's going to hurt, why do we care about inflation? Well, the Federal Reserve cares about inflation. Why does the Federal Reserve not favor the CPI report? Well, in my opinion, it's because the CPI report puts too much weight on shelter. The PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditures report, which is another inflation indicator, only weighs in shelter by half of this, or roughly half. So it's probably a better indicator, and probably the reason that the Federal Reserve is using that data instead of this one, and for good cause. The ICE Home Price Index reported their home price index yesterday, showing home values rose 0.2% in October, are now up 3% year over year, which is a slight increase from 2.9% in September. Bit of a stronger report than expected, as we often begin to see negative appreciation numbers toward the end of the year, followed by a lot of strength in the beginning of the year through the spring home buying season and summer. This was also the first acceleration in year-over-year appreciation we've seen in this report in a few months. So I will share with you that for those of you that are nerds like me, tomorrow afternoon, I will spend an hour or two listening to the Chapman University Economic Forecast Report. And they make theirs pretty good. It's not nearly as boring as many economic reports. You know, usually economic reports are really, really good for those people that have insomnia. Chapman's report, they bring in some humor, and they also have one of their speakers historically is relatively, has a very, very strong accent. And I think they put him in the middle. That way you have to listen closely, because otherwise you might fall asleep. I should tell that to them over there and ask them if that's why they do it. But the bottom line is that we do enjoy getting the information. And Chapman is usually one of the top, always in the top 5 of the economic forecasts as measured by what they're forecasting of GDP. Thankfully, they were wrong in their forecast of the presidential election. Although I know what they're going to say already. They're going to say that they forecast Biden and he wasn't in it. So, but I think it's actually, the forecast actually predicts either the incumbent party or the out party. I think that's what they do. But they're going to give us their take. I'm going to tell you my take right now and what some of the housing markets are talking about in 3 different topics. And I don't think I'm going to get to a lot of that right now, so I might have to do that in a later segment today. Where are rates going next? We'll talk about it. Will more homes sell in 2025? We'll talk about it. What's happening with home prices? And I saw a report this morning. I should get the exact number. But in the month of October, this report came in saying that there was $47 million in savings, not in refinances, but in savings from refi. So if you refied your loan in the month of October, I think the number was $47 million saved. And I like that idea, because we've been talking about that here for a long time. when we talk about the two-step, yes, rsrlinks.com/two-step is the link for our whole presentation there. But $47 million saved. Did you take advantage of that? Oh no, you're one of those folks that are out there telling everybody, Ron, I don't need to save money on that. I've got a 3% mortgage. No. That doesn't mean anything because you're still spending too much money when we look at the overall numbers. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care what your mortgage rate is. I care about where is your household debt service. Where is the household debt service? That's what's the real important numbers. And if you can save money by restructuring your household debt, you'll be very, very happy that you did it. And take a look, because I'm going to tell you, we'll see what Chapman has to say, but I'm going to tell you that I think that interest rates are going to be down dramatically next year. We've already done a report on that. And if you haven't seen it, shame on you, because I have talked about it before. But we've done a report talking about where we think rates are going to be next year. And I think we've got that under rsrlinks.com/interest rate. I think that's it. Did we do forecast, Josh? How do we do that one in there? I'm not sure exactly what we did. We'll have to look and see. rsrlinks.com/ might be rate forecast. And I kind of give you an idea of where interest rates are going. And I tell you that I think that next year, by the end of the year, we're going to probably be in the high fives, maybe even touching 6. But I think that's going to be a good area. And I give you the idea, not that I just pulled that number out of the air. I gave you an actual reason of where I got the number. And that's what makes it even more important, is taking a look at what you're doing. So when we look at the two-step, we talk about the idea that you're going to refinance now to get your debt structure in place. And then you're going to redo it again down the road, because we want to find out we want to get you into a better place. FICO score, debt to income ratio, and the loan level price adjustments all work out better if you do the two-step. So go and do that two-step. I'm just throwing that out there to you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Yeah, rsrlinks.com/interest rate is that subject. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, I'm going to give you some forecasts while moving to more affordable areas makes sense, and buying your first. Here's how. See what happens when I go and try and test something right there. I can't even get the thing to turn off now. Buying your first home. Here's how we make it easy. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1490, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Why moving to a more affordable area makes sense. Moving to a more affordable area could be the fresh start you need to get ahead financially. While some markets are certainly more affordable than others, know that working with a trusted real estate agent to find what fits your budget and your desired location, no matter where you want to be, is always the best plan. And with the rising cost of living, many people are rethinking where they live and looking for ways to cut expenses. If that sounds like you, here's a great place to start. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials at ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you are seeing the top 10 most affordable states to live in. For some reason, Josh, I don't see California on there. Yeah, you know better than that. That's
You know better than that.
Arkansas, number 1, Mississippi, number 2, Alabama, number 3, South Dakota, number 4, Iowa, number 5, North Dakota, 6, Oklahoma, 7, West Virginia, 8, Kentucky, get some bourbon there, I think, number 9, and number 10 is Nebraska. You know, I've got a lot of friends going to Idaho and Montana. You know, I would have thought those would have made the list, but they're not there. These states are well known. Is Tennessee on there? Tennessee's not even on the list. Wow. These states are well known for lower housing costs, reduced insurance premiums, and more budget-friendly daily expenses, but they're not the only places to find a hidden gem. If you're open to relocating, you might discover the savings you're looking for. Why moving to a lower-cost area? Why move to a lower cost? Life is getting more expensive by the day. Yeah, thanks, Governor Newsom. From rising home prices to higher grocery bills, it feels like everything costs more than it used to. Housing, the largest expense for most people, has become especially costly. In fact, according to data from Case-Shiller, home prices increased 3.9% from September 2023 to September 2024. And data from Go Banking Rates shows insurance costs are up too, with home insurance premiums averaging $2,151 annually, a significant jump compared to recent years. These rising costs can feel like a lot to handle. That's why more people are considering lower cost areas. An article from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, says, quote, with the past decade of rising home prices, buyers are looking for more affordable areas. As housing affordability continues to shape migration patterns, these areas may provide an opportunity for those looking for more cost-effective alternatives to the nation's larger, pricier metropolitan areas, unquote. Lower cost areas typically offer more affordable housing, less expensive home insurance, and reduced costs for daily living like groceries and gas. Transportation expenses and car insurance premiums also tend to be lower. For anyone feeling stretched thin, moving to a less expensive area can provide meaningful financial relief. Planning your big move, whether it's finding a home that fits your budget or cutting down on other expenses, making the right move in any market can bring significant financial relief. Of course, moving isn't a decision to take lightly. Whether you're moving just a few towns over or to a completely different state, there's a lot to consider, from job opportunities to schools to local amenities. It all has an impact on finding the right home for you. This is where a knowledgeable local real estate agent can be your best resource. Not only can they help you navigate the housing market in your new area, but they'll also help guide to neighborhoods that balance affordability with your needs. And don't worry, if none of these states on the affordability list seem like the right fit for you, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and I'll be happy to let you know a great agent in your area in the area you want to go to. I know them, right? I've got resources. I got a track record. So we have a tool. It's called a real estate track record, and it tells us how good or bad or mediocre agents are in every area. We also have a market report, rsrlinks.com/market report. And you can actually see exactly what the market is by zip code in the area you're looking for. And finally, as I say always, strategy beats rate always. If you've got a lot of equity in the property you're leaving, there are a lot of strategies to help you in figuring out how do we make this property affordable. Maybe we want to buy down the interest rate. Maybe we want to. There are something called an appraisal gap strategy. Not everybody understands the appraisal gap strategy, but we do. But when we talk about doing a buy down, you can have a 30-year buy down on your loan. I'm not a big fan of the short-term buy downs, but I do like the longer-term buy downs. So we can do a buy down. Again, it's rsrlinks.com/buy down, rsrlinks.com/buy down. And you can actually do a buy down and get that interest rate significantly lower by using a specific strategy. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Who do you know segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Who do you know? Buying your first home. Here's how we make it easy. And I like easy. It's probably my second favorite word. You probably think you know my first favorite. Cheap or free. Buying your first home is one of the biggest milestones in life. But let's be honest, it can also feel like one of the most overwhelming. Between figuring out what you can afford, navigating the mortgage process, and making long-term decisions, it's easy to feel uncertain. That's why having the right guide by your side can make all the difference. At Ron Siegel Radio, we're not just here to provide loans. We're here to provide clarity, confidence, and care every step of the way. Let's talk about how we deliver on that promise. We recently worked with a first-time buyer who came to us feeling unsure and overwhelmed. They told us their biggest fears. What if I can't afford the home I want to buy and still live comfortably? How do I know I'm making the right financial decisions for my future? What if I miss something important in the mortgage process? These are concerns we hear all the time, and they're valid. Purchasing a home isn't just about finding the right property. It's about building a future that feels secure and achievable. Here's how we helped and how we can help you too. Number one, gotta listen. That's why it doesn't work to do online sourcing. Before diving into numbers, we started with a conversation centered around safety, liquidity, and return. What were their dreams for their first home? What were their fears? By understanding their unique situation, we could tailor a plan specifically for them. And we have those 7 questions that everybody needs to answer. I'm not going to go into those now. We've done that before. Create a comfortable budget. Together, we mapped out a budget that wasn't just based on their current income, but also factored in their future plans. We broke everything down in simple terms, helping them understand monthly payments, potential savings, and how their mortgage would fit into their lifestyle. Number 3 is transparent guidance at every step. The mortgage process can feel like a maze. That's why we explained each step in plain language. No jargon, no guesswork. From pre-approval to closing day, they always knew what to expect and felt empowered to ask questions. There are, in your unique situation, there are at least 7 different rates we can offer you for every single loan program. 7 rates for every program. How many people show you all of them? Let's see. Transparent guidance. We talked about that. Solutions tailored to your needs. We didn't push them toward a one-size-fits-all loan. Instead, we reviewed all options, explained the pros and cons of each. This helped them choose the solution that worked best for their short-term goals and long-term financial health. Confidence on closing day. By the time they signed their closing documents, our client felt informed, confident, and excited. Instead of stress, they felt peace of mind, knowing they'd made a sound decision with a team they could trust. Ron Siegel Radio, we do more than help you secure a mortgage. As certified liability advisors, we're focused on your long-term financial success. That means guiding you with personalized care, answering your questions with transparency, and ensuring that every decision you make feels right, not just today, but for years to come. We help you build wealth through strategic debt management. Our goal is simple. Help first-time buyers like you move forward with clarity, confidence, and a sense of accomplishment. If you're ready to take the next step toward owning your first home, let's chat. You don't have to navigate this journey alone. Whether you're unsure about what you can afford or need a trusted advisor to guide you through the process, we're here for you every step of the way. Reach out today and let us show you how easy and empowering buying a first home can be. At Ron Siegel Radio, we're not just here to help you buy a house. We're here to help you build your future. That is the Who Do You Know segment, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about housing market forecast. Where are rates going next? Will more homes sell in 2025? What's happening with home prices and more? You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 at ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's take a look at some of the thoughts, not just from me, but what a lot of people have in mind for what's going on going forward for next year. This year's about done. So first, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you what some of these folks are talking about. And I study a lot. I get people laugh at me because, yes, I have no life. I start about 4 a.m. each day looking at different reports. And I want to know what others are thinking, and then I can make an informed decision based on my own research. So Odetta Cushy, Deputy Chief Economist at First American, her comment is, if the Fed continues on with their rate-cutting cycle, we can expect mortgage rates to drift a little lower next year. Slightly lower rates will boost affordability, ease the rate lock-in effect for sellers, and hopefully unlock some existing home inventory, unquote. What is a rate lock-in effect? Well, that's where people feel that they can't move because they've got such a great rate. Hogwash, you've got equity. So you can use some of that equity to buy the house of your dreams, the house that you want, or to right size. And if you do it strategically, you don't have to worry because there's an appraisal gap in case you need to use some of your own money to get there in a better way. So don't stress over that. And remember, I shared with you what I think we're going to see in rates next year and how I got to that number. So that's the big part of it is not just what do you see for rates, but where are they going? Lawrence Yoon, Chief Economist for NAR. Remember, NAR is the National Association of Realtors. They got a vested interest in a lot of what they say. Are we going back to 4%? And this is from Lawrence Yoon. Per my forecast, unfortunately, we will not. It's more likely that we'll go back to 6%. That will be in the new normal, bouncing around 5.5% to 6.5%. I think it's a good point from Mr. Yoon. And again, my rate forecast, rsrlinks.com/interest rate, I put in there 5.9, I think is what I came up with on my number was 5.9. So right in line with Mr. Yoon. And you've got a chart here from our friends over at Keeping Current Matters, and they put in their Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, and Wells Fargo, and they put in what the actual numbers are. Again, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, you can see the chart where the actual numbers were from the first quarter of 2023 all the way up to the third quarter of 2024, and what the forecasts are. And it looks like most of them are right in the 6.25 to 6.5 range by the end of next year. I'm going to tell you, I think it's going to be a little better than that, but that's their numbers, and they got economists that make a lot of money. 6.33 is what they're averaging for the end of next year. 6.33. So it's a good number. Okay, let's continue on. Will more homes sell in 2025 is the next question we want to tackle. Well, the problem is there hasn't been enough homes on the market. That's bad and that's good. According to Redfin, quote, we expect existing home sales to tick up next year, ending 2025 at an annualized rate of between 4.1 million and 4.4 million. That represents a year-over-year increase between 2 and 9%, representing an unusually wide sales range this year because while high housing costs may price out some would-be buyers, there's also a fair amount of pent-up demand in the market. So what's important about this? Well, the important thing is, well, if there's going to be an increase of 2 to 9% in sales, that's called demand. Do we have the supply for it? No. It's not a lot of people selling. So that means prices are going to continue to increase. 2025 existing home sales forecasts, according to NAR, Bright MLS, Zillow, MBA, Housing Wire, Fannie Mae, Goldman Sachs, Realtor.com, and the National Association of Home Builders, they're all saying about 4.2 million next year and 757,500 is the new homes to be sold next year. Not a lot of houses when you figure there's about 135 million households in America. Ralph McLaughlin, senior economist at Realtor.com, quote, our 2025 forecast shows that as both lower rates and time chisel away at the lock-in effect that has held back sales this year, we should expect home sales to rise modestly by 1.5% in 2025. I think Mr. McLaughlin is understating it, and we already talked about why. 2025 total home sales forecast, again, 5.1 million is the number here from that average, and forecast to rise 4.6 million. And still not a big number. We're still not a lot of homes selling. Again, it's that lock-in effect and the fact that too many people don't follow what I'm telling you is that strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. Lawrence Yoon, maybe the worst is coming to an end. Directionally, I think there's going to be roughly a 10% boost in existing home sales 2025 and 2026. Okay. What's happening with home prices? Okay. Redfin, quote, prices will rise at a pace similar to that of the second half of 2024 because we don't expect there to be enough new inventory to meet demand. Okay, that's good news. And if you're looking at the chart, 2020 home price forecasts, as of 12/6, the average of a whole bunch of people. The only one is Moody's Analytics says a drop. I think they must be Moody's Analytics. I think I've got a soundboard for them or a sound effect for them. Yeah, they're smoking. But all of them combined 3.1%. And that's good. 3.1% is well below what we've been doing. But let me share this with you. What we've been doing is not good. It's been too hot. The appreciation that we've seen over the last few years has been so dramatic because nobody wants to sell and there are still people that have to buy. Remember our 6 Ds that we've talked about: diplomas, diamonds, diapers, death, divorce, and default, right? Those are all people that have to sell or have to buy. So in those instances, their interest rate doesn't matter. If you're getting divorced, you're not going to stay married over a 2% interest rate or a 2.5% interest rate. Just saying, that's the whole issue. So the bottom line here is that those appreciation rates were too high. If they're too high too long, people just start getting into the frenzy that we had in 2008, and we start getting in line for a market crash, bringing it back to a more sustainable rate that they're talking about here, 3.1%, much, much better. Now, a lot of folks understand these things. Not a lot of folks can explain the why. They go and they hear a headline and they regurgitate. And that's why I tell you, I get up real early every day and do a lot of studies. You know, here you've got the data from 10 different institutions. Tomorrow I'm going to get the data from Chapman University. They do participate with the home price expectation survey, so they're built into these things. But we have a lot of services that help give us or provide us, do the research for us. And that way we can give you this research. We are going, anybody that tells you that, if somebody says to you that interest rates are going to go up, ask for the catalyst. What's going to drive them up? If they say that real estate prices are going to drop, why? What's the catalyst? If they say that real estate values are going to go up, same thing. What's going to drive them up? I just told you several reasons. They're going to go up, mainly because we continue to see higher demand than there is supply. Just throw that out there for you. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 at ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, so you help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against pulled me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and please, singing, come out of things I've said. Shouldn't